Good afternoon and welcome to the Balance of Life. I am Pastor Angel Ferguson and I thank you so very much for joining us today here via our radio broadcast as well as the Wisdom app. I am so excited about spending some time with you on today. We're going to share something with you that I believe is so very important to each and every one of us. We're going to talk about the difference between a dream and a vision. You often hear me talk about purpose, goals, and dreams, but I want to bring in some balance with that. We all have dreams, but if they just remained a dream and if they are untouched, then that's all that they are. They are dreams. They're just unplanned, sitting there. But there comes a time when we must shift from just dreaming to having a vision. And so I want to talk about that on today. Also, before I forget, I wanted to make mention I received this nice informational packet from Bishop Eddie Sultanal here in New Jersey. He has a book entitled The Characteristics of Ministry and Leadership. If you are interested in developing as a leader, if you are over a ministry or you as an individual are interested in further education and in developing your leadership skills, please email bishop at, I'm going to spell this out, ELOHIMTEMPLE.com. Once again, the title is The Characteristics of Ministry and Leadership. The price is $8. Now, the booklet is the teacher's edition. It's just a nice little booklet, not very, very big for you, have to spend a lot of time in. It gets directly to the point. Consists of 22 pages. And it also comes with a student printout because the teacher's edition has questions and answers, and then the student printout is just the questions. So I wanted to make mention of that. If you have a booklet in the lines of leadership and in those areas that you would like for us to make mention of, simply email me at thebalanceoflife1@yahoo.com and I will review the content. Hopefully something that I can read, and if I find it beneficial to our listening audience, by all means I will share it. All right, so today we're going to talk about the difference between dreams and visions. Dreams can go unplanned and remain unreal. Once again, dreams, they can go unplanned and remain unreal. You can dream that you see yourself opening a business, expanding in business, ministry. You can dream that you see your book on a bookshelf. You can dream those things. You can dream that you are in a brand new home. You can dream of your wedding day. You can dream all of those things. But if they go untouched, if they are not transformed, or shall I say transition, into a vision, which a vision develops into real ideas with concrete applications. So there is a difference. I can dream, but unless I do something with that dream, it becomes unplanned and it remains unreal. When I begin to put some development behind that dream, it then turns into a vision. The vision is real ideas with concrete applications. And so I want us to definitely understand the difference. I want you to dream. I do. I want you to dream. I want you to inspire yourself. I want you to inspire to become better within your life. And so we are developing some material for our August issue of Hope and Truth magazine. And I wrote this quote this morning that actually sparked this conversation. I love the way that happens. So, what I wrote this morning was, so you have a dream that you want to become a reality. Then turn the dream into a goal that should be developed into a plan that you should follow through until it has been reached. This quote is on our Facebook page for The Balance of Life. Let me read that to you again. And so this is what sparked me this morning. So you have a dream that you want to see become a reality. Then turn the dream into a goal that should be developed into a plan that you should follow through until it has been reached. That sparked the article that we're going to have in the August issue of Hope and Truth magazine. So you have had a dream or perhaps a vision of seeing yourself operating your own business, speaking to an audience, writing a book, purchasing a home, or sharing a word of life to a congregation. And it has been just that, a dream. Yet there is an inward yearning for that dream to become a reality. Some might encourage you to wait for it to happen, but the reality for that statement is that unless we put something into action, there will be no action. If you've just tuned in, you've tuned into The Balance of Life. I am Pastor Angel Ferguson, and I thank each and every one of you for joining us today. I hope you had a great weekend. Today is our day of the week to start radio broadcast Tuesday through Thursday, every Tuesday, 12 o'clock p.m. to 12:45, and Tuesday and Wednesdays, 12:30 to 1 o'clock p.m. So excited to dive into this difference between dreams and visions. Once again, a vision can go unplanned, and therefore it will remain a non-reality. Visions have an opportunity to have some concrete ideas so that it can manifest. So I wanted us to ask some vital questions to our dreams, and this is the developmental process in the mind. And this is the transition part. When you have a dream and you have you can see yourself doing certain things. Once again, it could be in writing a book, starting a business, expanding a business. You could dream that you see yourself talking to an audience of people. I always say, first of all, when you see yourself doing something in a dream, ask some vital questions. First of all, take it into an account what you were doing in the dream. If you were speaking to an audience of people, find out what you were speaking about. What was the topic? Where is this audience? So find out some vital things when you have a dream. Before you can transition the dream to a vision, there are some things you need to ask yourself. What is the purpose, or what you saw in the dream, how will it serve a purpose? What's the purpose behind it? What's the benefit behind what you saw in the dream? So all depends on what was happening in the dream, and you see yourself in the dream. It should serve a purpose. Who will benefit from the purpose of that dream? And then, who is the audience of that dream? Once you begin to develop those type of question and answer scenarios, and this is all within yourself. This is long before we get to my favorite area of scripture, which is found over in the book of Habakkuk. So I'm going to turn to Habakkuk, the second chapter. And I want to spend some time with this because this is going to bring some reality to where we are when it comes to our dreams. Sometimes we move prematurely and the dream has not been developed enough into a vision. Does that make sense? Sometimes we move ahead too fast and the dream has not had the opportunity to develop into a vision. And what I mean by that is we share too quickly. I am writing this down because that is good. And that wasn't in my notes, so I just want to add that in there. So sometimes we share too quickly. Sometimes we have a dream and immediately we share it. Well, I am a believer in faith and I believe in timing. And I also believe in the scripture where it says that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Your dream, your purpose, your goal, that vision. And he will use whatever avenue necessary. But if we would take the time to develop strategically within ourselves some bountiful questions, then we can determine if that dream is worth transitioning to a vision. So first of all, I must understand, where does the dream come from? That is within the components of finding out the purpose. Is there a purpose? Is there a need for what I saw in the dream? Is there a need for this? Once again, if you saw yourself, say, writing a book, the contents of the book, will they fulfill a need? This is also falling into the components of building a business. Your business idea, will it fulfill a need? What is the purpose behind your business idea? Will it fulfill a need? The same thing happens with ministry. In areas, if you're going to begin or expand components of ministry, outreach ministry, before you go into the planning process, before you put out any money, before you launch the idea to anybody, find out, will that dream, will what you are feeling within you, will it fulfill a need, and in what area? Will the purpose behind your dream fulfill a need, and in what area? So ask those questions first. This is when you have the dream and it is stuck, or shall I say impressed upon your heart. It is there, it is settled, it is within you, and it will not seem to go away. You keep having the same dream and it will not go away. I'm going to tell you that is the time to pull out pen and paper. I didn't say conversation, I said pen and paper. And write some questions that only you have the opportunity to answer. Where did this dream come from? What is the purpose behind the dream? Will the dream meet a need, and to what audience is this intended for? Where am I going with this? Is it also, here's another question, is this long term or short term? What's the longevity of this? Because some things are meant for once. Some things are meant to be repetitive. The repetitiveness is the longevity. If it's a one-time thing, then that is a short-term goal. If it's longevity, it's going to continue to grow as it is properly developed. It will expand. So ask yourself some vital questions. when you have the dream, when it becomes a recurring dream, and you're seeking to understand why you keep having this dream. I'm going to tell you that if you keep having that kind of dream and you begin to ask yourself these vital questions, then you will begin to see a transition from a dream to a vision. Because asking questions will bring some reality to what you saw in the dream. Once it becomes a vision, then realistic planning takes place. Goals can be set. But once again, if you only dream and you do not have the necessary questions in place that you yourself answer, it remains a dream, unplanned and unrealistic. Now, when I take a look at Habakkuk, the second chapter, and this is going to help develop what I'm saying to you today. Habakkuk, the second chapter, and beginning at the very first verse, says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. This is in the spectator position. You've had the dream, and you are writing out the questions that we share with you today. And if you would like a copy of those questions, simply email us today at thebalanceoflife1@yahoo.com, and I will more than happily send you the questions that we have written out. And guess what? You will get them in advance because this is a part of our August issue of Hope and Truth magazine. So, you have the questions. You write out your answer. Okay? And I pray. I encourage you to pray. I encourage you to seek answers. Get a revelation. Get an understanding. And what we will find is we will find that we are corrected. See, we might have an idea about how something should go. Remember, I use the words short term or longevity. In my thought process, I might think that what I see is for short term and just for once. But his plans, God's plans, could be for longevity, or vice versa. I might think a certain project is to continue and go on and on and on and on and on, when in fact it's just supposed to be a one-time project. So we must get an understanding. And once again, this is long before we share anything with anyone. Let it develop in you, because you are the foundation of that dream. Yes, you are. You are the foundation of the dream. Because once again, if the dream goes untouched, if the dream is not examined properly, so that's what I want us to do. Examine our dreams. What is the dream saying? What is the dream doing? What's the purpose? Who's the audience? Will it meet a need for the audience in which it is intended to reach? This is also found in components of developing a business plan. A business plan is not just for a business. A business plan is needed for ministry. It is also needed for if you're going to become an author. Whenever we have clients as an author, these are questions that I ask. These are questions that we most definitely ask all of our clients. If I do not readily hear or see the purpose behind what they would like to write, then I ask these questions. Who is your intended audience? Will it meet a need for them? Okay, so I'm looking at Habakkuk, the second chapter, and the first verse. And I'm going to read it again. And this is in the developmental process when you have the dream. I'm not talking about the first time you have the dream. When it is meant to develop into something more, you will have that dream more than once. You will see yourself in different scenarios, and it will all connect to the original dream. But there is a developmental process that we all must go through. No one is exempt. So, Habakkuk 2:1 says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, meaning I need to get to a place and I need to sit still, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved, when I am corrected. So get an understanding of the dream before you launch, before you have a conversation with anybody else, before you put any plans into place. Ask yourself some critical questions. Let it develop in you first. Then allow it to transfer, or shall I say transition, into a vision. A vision has realistic ideas with concrete applications, which means you take the ideas and you develop a plan in which to bring them into a reality. That brings me to verse 2 of Habakkuk, the second chapter. This is after I get an understanding of what I have dreamed about, and I have answered the critical questions. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Now you're at the point of sharing, not prior to. So excited about what we're going to share, and just to help individuals develop in this stage. And once again, sometimes we move too fast and the dream has not had a chance to develop into a mission or into a vision. We move too fast. Sometimes we do. I have seen individuals who have had a dream. They could actually see it. They've shared it too fast. It didn't have a chance to develop. And in that circumstance, when that happens, here's what happens when we share too fast. And I want to caution all of us. When we share the dream too fast, and I quoted, the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Here's what happens when we move too fast and it is undeveloped. Someone will come along and they will shift what you saw into something else. And then it loses its savoring flavor, the purpose, the intent altogether. And then you lose interest because it's no longer what you saw. It's no longer what you dreamed. And I'm going to tell you, the fault lies in the beholder, which is you and I, because we shared too fast. We moved ahead too fast before we understood what we were dreaming about. We moved too fast before it had an opportunity to fully develop into a vision. We did not have any foundation, and we moved ahead too quickly. and it was stolen. It was redirected, the focus was shifted, and the dream dies. It doesn't move any further. That is all kill, steal, and destroy wrapped up right there. And you can say within yourself, I know I was supposed to do this. But if we were to gain some responsibility and think back as to what happened and what went wrong, we will find that we shared prematurely before we had an understanding of what the dream was supposed to do. So slow down. Get yourself a notebook that no one else has access to. First of all, write out the dream. What did you dream? Where were you? If you can figure out where you were, describe where you were. If you don't know the exact city, state, place, if you don't know that, then describe where you were. Describe what you were doing. Add notes of if there was an audience, who was present. Put all of that detail in there. Don't leave anything out. And listen, I want you to wait. Find out, see if you have this kind of dream again. Because I don't want you to move on the first dream. Whenever a dream is meant to turn into a vision, there's something to come out of it. You're going to have it multiple times. I'm going to tell you, you will have it about 3 times. You will have it multiple times. You might see yourself in a different place, but what are you doing? Are you still standing in front of an audience at a podium speaking? Are you still seeing components of a book? What is it that you see yourself doing? What's happening here? What's going on? So write out those things. And I want you to put a date that you had the dream. Always date it. Always write a date. Okay? So you've had the dream and you've had it multiple times. Then I want you to ask yourself questions. That's right. Ask yourself some questions. So, question number 1. Where did the dream come from? Ask yourself, what purpose will the dream serve? Who will receive benefits from your dream? Who is the dream going to benefit? So there's a purpose behind the dream, and who will it benefit? Here's another question I want you to ask yourself. How will your audience have access to the outcome of that dream? How will the audience have access to the outcome of that dream? Ask yourself these developmental questions. This is how we find out what will transpire, what will happen in the mind before we transition that dream into a vision. Once you can answer those questions, once they are concrete in you, then comes the planning process. To take that dream, it is now a vision. You're bringing some shape and formation to the dream. That's what you are doing. It is a process. It is a great process. And it will help us from day to day. It will help us to reach the vision, the goal. If you've just tuned in, you've tuned into the Balance of Life. And I thank you so very much for joining us today here via our radio broadcast as well as the Wisdom app. We are talking about something that we all can encounter if we want to grow. And it is the difference between a dream and a vision. The difference between a dream and a vision. And so I thought it was just, listen, there's always something that sparks this mind to going. What sparked our conversation this morning was these particular words. So you have a dream that you want to see become a reality. Then turn the dream into a goal that should be developed into a plan that you should follow through until it has been reached. If you are interested in receiving those questions that we share with today's broadcast to help you in developing your dream into a vision, all you have to do is email us today at thebalanceoflife1@yahoo.com, and we will email you those questions to help you strategically develop the dream into a vision. Then comes the planning process. And once again, I wanted to share with you reading material entitled The Characteristics of Ministry and Leadership by Bishop Eddie Sultanol. It's the Teacher's Edition, a Bible study guide that I believe can assist with the development of leadership. And so if you are a ministry leader, a business owner, and you want to develop the leaders within your organization or within yourself, I'm going to give you the email address so that you can inquire. The price is $8 per booklet, and it has 22 pages. The teacher's edition has 30 questions with the answers included, and it comes with a student printout that you can pass out to a group for group study. The email address is bishop@elohimtemple.com, and you can inquire as to how you can get a copy and make contact for this reading material. Also, if you have not subscribed to our magazine Hope and Truth, you still can do so. You can actually order a copy of Hope and Truth via Amazon, or you can email us here at thebalanceoflife1@yahoo.com, and we will give you details. And we are also giving out complimentary issues of Hope and Truth magazine. You can receive a digital copy in your email. All you have to do is make your request known, and we will take care of the rest. I'm so excited about this July the 12th, 2022. You know what? Time is progressing, and a lot is happening all around us. I just want you to become aware and become rooted and grounded in what you believe in. Do not allow things and fables and people to come along and shake what you believe in, especially when you come into the revelation and the knowledge of some truth. And that's why we wanted to share with you components of the difference between a dream and a vision. There is a huge difference. A dream can just remain a dream, especially when it has not been touched, it has not developed, and so it sits there. And dreams are wonderful. They actually are. We have to understand where dreams come from, though. Because some dreams, if we don't know where they come from and we move too quickly, they can get us in a lot of trouble. That's why it's so important to understand where the dream come from, to find out what is the benefit behind it, and what need will it meet. Is it a need that needs to be met? Does it really need to reach an audience? And then I also want to encourage you with these words by telling you, despise not the day of small beginnings. Don't worry about starting out small. The vision is meant to be bigger than you. And so on the onset, what you saw was yourself standing in one room. That does not mean that's the only room. It has an opportunity to grow and expand. But that comes also with getting an understanding of what the dream is supposed to do. We all dream. Every night, do you not know that you can dream? Now, there are some dreams that really stick out to me. Then there are those times that I can't remember what I dreamed. Now, here's the inquisitive part about me. I review my night. I really do. Did I dream? What did I dream? Now, if I find some things hard to remember that I dreamed, but I know I dreamed, listen, I'm pressed to find out. I want to go back and I want to know what I dreamed. As a matter of fact, that happened to me last night. I know I dreamed about some things. I know I did. But do you not know that I was having a hard time remembering what I dreamed? And so I began to pray and I began to say, take me back to what I dreamed. Why is it that you don't want me to remember? What is it that you don't want me to remember that I have dreamed? So that's something that we have to take into an account. But ask yourself those vital questions. First, when you find out what you were doing in the dream and you write it out, and I'm not telling you to go and buy some expensive journal. Listen, go over to the Dollar Tree. They have journals over there. Buy you a pack of notebook paper and a binder, or just write it out. And then find out if that dream is designed, is it destined to meet a need? What is the purpose behind it? Is it meant to develop into a vision? Once you can answer those types of questions and you see that there is a green light to proceed, then begin to put some things, some ideas together. And when you have the ideas together, then begin to put a plan together to bring those ideals into a reality. That's how it's developed. But long before we share, let it develop in us first. Another thing that happens when we move prematurely, not only will we have someone to redirect or confuse us in our own dream. And that's another thing. Have you ever had a dream and you shared it and someone comes along with their own ideas or their interpretation and you become confused in what you dreamed about? How was that so? How did you become confused in your own dream? How did someone come along and tell you, oh, that's not what that meant, and confuse you? And when you are confused, guess what? You will walk away from it. You will not pursue it. That could be a part of your purpose. That could be a part of your destiny. There is something within you that you are meant to share, but because you and I shared prematurely, and someone said, nope, that's not what that means. You walked away. I walked away. I am now unfulfilled. I did not do what I was supposed to do upon the earth. Every person that has been born has a purpose upon this earth. We do. Now, whether we seek to discover what that purpose is, that's on us. Whether we believe what that purpose is, once again, that's on us. If we decide not to pursue our purpose, hey, that's on us. That does not fall on the shoulders or the lap of anybody else. I can't say somebody got in my way if I did not strategically move them out of my way. No one gets in the way of what you are supposed to do unless you allowed them, unless you grant them access to stop you, to hinder you. Timing is always important as well. What is the timing of what you saw? See, these are all important questions. These are developmental questions that we must ask. And I'm always going to tell you to be careful who you connect with. That goes back to Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. 2nd verse. I'm not supposed to connect with anybody about the vision until after I get an understanding of what the vision is supposed to be. What I wanted to do today is I wanted to assist many of us who have thrifted, who has moved ahead too fast, and we have lost the zeal and the hope of what we were destined to do. It doesn't necessarily mean that that time has passed you by. Remember, timing is of the essence. It's very, very important. And so if you tell yourself after you come into the reality of what's really in you, oh, my time has passed, then that's you're holding yourself back. And you don't have to hold yourself back. That's not something you have to do. You still can live your dream. Every day that we are granted breath in our bodies, it's a chance and an opportunity. And so forgive yourself for what you allowed to happen to that dream, that you didn't allow it to develop. Forgive yourself for that. That's yesterday. That's the past. Today is a new day. Hope for tomorrow. Once again, if you would like to receive a copy of the questions to help you in the development of your dream to transition it into a vision, please email us today at thebalanceoflife1@yahoo.com, and we will more than happily send it over to you. I'm going to prepare for the next task on my list today, which is to connect with Naaman Wilson Jr., the apostle, to do recording for their broadcast as they have under the umbrella of the Balance of Life here at Angel Ferguson's Ministries. But guess what? I look forward to coming back tomorrow. Have a blessed day, everyone. I love you without measure simply because I believe in the potential of you. Have a great day. For those of you on our Wisdom app, for some reason we got an interruption from the first portion of our talk